Okay, so this is the agenda. What is UPK? I've got, I think, half a dozen slides just to run through. 10 past 10 or thereabouts, Tim will be taking control of the WebEx and running through a demonstration. Our plan is actually to close at 10:50. Tim will stop throughout his demonstration and actually ask if there are any questions. Okay, so what is UPK? Well, first of all, it's a very mature product. I'm sure I sound very young, but actually I've been working with the product for over 20 years, and it was around for a few years in Germany and the States before even I came across it. So the product's very mature. It was originally a content, what we call a point of use support or HEMI support tool. It evolved into a tool that provided training documentation, not just online, but also for the classroom. And latterly, it's actually provided support for a whole project team. So the project lifecycle bit is about how it provides more than just the training piece. It is a content development tool, but it focuses purely on process simulation across IT applications. So we do embed third-party content. So we do put in animation, we do put in video links and workflows, process flows, whatever. But the UPK piece itself is actually capturing a process as you work through it in any IT application. As I said, it's been around a long time. It does work with a lot of your green screen systems. It also works with very latest technology, so any web application. There are target applications, and those target applications are anything really that Oracle provides, and SAP, and a number of other third-party applications, Computer Associates, Infor, etc. The difference between any application and a target application is how much of the product that you're recording UPK is able to record automatically in terms of the text to support the user's navigation through the system, and also that with a target application you get point of view support. So this is where we can actually integrate the simulations into the help screen. So for example, in Oracle eBusiness Suite 12 or SAP, the user can go through the e-learning, maybe sit on a classroom course, and then back at their workplace, they can actually launch that support relative to where they are in the process on their desktop from the help screen. It is SCORM compliant, so that means that all UPK content can actually be pulled into a learning management system and actually tracked and reported. The content in UPK is devised of three things. It's the screen, which is animated bitmap, template text, and custom text. The template text is recorded automatically by UPK, and it is that can be translated into 27 languages by just clicking a button when you come to publish. All content is created and then published and then made available by job role. There is a follow-on session next Friday covering UPK Professional. So Oracle ships the product as one, but it's actually two products, if you like. Initially, they were two totally separate products. They're now shipped and badged as one. What we're covering today is UPK standards. So Tim's going to show us all about UPK development. The professional piece actually gives you a learning content management system. It's not a full-blown learning management system, and next week I'll expand on this. But basically, with UPK Professional, as it says there, you import any user information that you have, you build courses from any source, and you assign that course to a job role via a learning path, and the users are enrolled by job role into learning paths, and then you create customizable learning or knowledge portals that the users access from their login, and then from that, of course, you track and assess everything they're doing, and that gives you the reports. So it's a very high-level overview, but we are just looking this morning at a very high-level introduction to UPK standard, which is all about recording content. I'm just going to now run through this slide quickly. UPK is fairly unique in that all of the outputs are contained within one repository. In fact, it's one file. But they do allow or encourage collaboration across a project, because when you come to publish, you can publish to over 11 different outputs. And what you're seeing here, and remember I'm going to send you this slide, you will need Flash to run this particular piece. If you don't have Flash, just let us know and I can send you a static version. But you can see here how it outputs to so many different things. Now normally you wouldn't output to all of these things in one go. You'd output to a different document or animation as you work through your project. And in this slide, what we have is a typical project life cycle. And along the top, you can actually see the different phases in a typical project. Okay, let's move that out of the way. Now with UPK then, as you work through your project, you can output these different deliverables. See it in a window is a bit like BBC iPlayer. We use it for change and transformation. Obviously presentations, PowerPoint, process documents, user acceptance test scripts. There's actually a test it mode that actually gives us a really good way of actually checking whether or not a single process is past the testing. Then of course we've got all of the different simulations, see it, try it, know it, do it. We've got classroom manuals, all of this again by job role. Performance support or point of use support, HEMI, electronic performance support, they're all the same thing. That's the bit you get with the target application. And of course you get quick reference cards referred to in UPK. All right, I'm now going to hand over to Tim then, who's going to demonstrate UPK for us. I will be watching the chat in case you've got any questions.
Okay, so good morning, everybody. UPK then has or consists of two interfaces. Okay, one that's used by the end user, okay, which is what you're looking at the moment on my screen, and which is what we're going to go through first. The second interface then is what's called the developer, and that's where we actually create the content that we will have a look at in just a minute, okay, and we'll go through how we actually, or how easy it is to create that content once we've had a look at the end user interface, okay. So moving on to that then, so what we're looking at here is the player. As you can see, it's an internet, a website-based player, okay. This can be loaded onto any of your company websites, onto your servers, etc., that then can be made accessible to your end users in order for them to go through the training material. Okay, so what it consists of then is this main screen here that's split down into two different areas. Now this is completely customizable. You can put your own branding. At the moment we've just got the Oracle UPK branding at the top here and with their standard colors. So this can be changed, so you can have your own logos on here, you can have your own colors, and you can make it look however you want it to look. So on the left hand side here we have our library view, okay, and this is where we can display all of the content that you want your end users to have access to. So in this example, we've selected a variety of content that focuses on Office applications. Of course, it can be any application that you want. We've also broken it down into various different modules depending on the type of application within Office itself. What you can also do is break this library down into specific roles. So for example, if you have specific content that you just want your HR personnel to access, then you can break it down so you just have an HR module, and then once they go into that module, they just have the content that is applicable to them. Okay. As I expand these out, we can see that the library takes on a kind of structure. Okay, and I'll talk a little bit about that once we get into the development. But you can see here that we've got it broken down into different modules. We then have some sections, and then topics underneath those sections. Okay, so as we cycle through here, you can see that there's a variety of information is popping up on the right-hand side. So on the right-hand side here, this is what's called our concept area. Okay, and we can put additional information and detail into here that will augment the learning experience, and we can add in anything at all that we like here. So in this example, just for clarity's sake, we've decided to use a relatively simple example with just the little logo at the top here. Okay, and then some text in addition to that. Okay, but what you can do is be a lot more creative if you need to. We can have links to websites within here. We can have lots of additional text. We can have video files if you want to jazz it up a little bit more and add to the learning experience that that your end users might want to have. Okay. We also have a search bar at the top left here that can allow your end users to search for particular topics, particular material that they might want to access or view without knowing exactly what it's called or where it's located. Okay, so on our concept area then, you'll see along the top here we've got a series of blue buttons that are our different play modes. Okay, so these are the different play modes. Okay, and we'll just have a look at this topic. Okay, and see how it appears in different play modes. So the topic itself is the individual process that you want your end users to go through and be taught. So the first one that we're going to look at is See It mode. Okay, so once we click on viewing it in See It mode, the topic will then open up and will start to run. The first thing that we'll see is what's called an introduction frame. So this will have the title of the topic that we're going to be looking at, together with a short description with customizable text that you can enter in and provide just a little bit more detail to what it is that the end user is going to be doing. Okay, so we'll click on Enter to continue, and we can now see that the topic will start to run. Okay, in this case we start off with a little bit of an explanation frame that provides a little bit more detail, okay, to what the user needs to know and needs to do, and we continue past that, and you can then see that we start with an animation of the process that they will need to do. Okay, so See It mode is very passive. Other than pressing enter to pass on through and past the the explanation frames, okay, then I don't have to do anything. So I'm not typing anything, I'm not inputting anything at all at the moment until we get to a frame like this. If I just pause it there, so what we're getting for each individual step, each individual frame within our topic, okay, we get an explanation bubble that provides an indication of, with customizable text, of what it is that we want the user to do at that point in time, at that step. We then have what's called the template text underneath that, that shows the end user exactly what they need to be doing. So in this case, click, where they need to be clicking, so the C17 cell, and we also get this red box, this action area, that tells them exactly where they need to be clicking. Okay, and then in between that we have the animated mouse and where applicable, the keyboard typing entries as we go through. Okay, so I'll end that that topic there. Okay, but hopefully you've all got a good enough idea there of See It mode. So See It mode is very passive. Okay, I don't have to do really anything at all. It's just very much me sitting there and enjoying the wonders that is the UPK training material. Okay, so the next one along then is Try It mode. Okay, so once I've clicked on Try It mode and started that, then again we get the same introduction frame. Okay, and this time the difference with try it mode is that I now need to do everything. Okay, so rather than the mouse, the cursor animation moving around and clicking on the various areas, it's a lot more interactive. Okay, so I now have to click on the areas, I now have to enter in text where I need to, etc., etc. So it all depends and allows for personal preference. Some users would much rather just sit there and look and take it all in passively. Others learn much better by getting their hands on and actually doing it as they go along. Okay, so I will come out of try it mode and then move on to the next one, which is know it mode. So know it mode is a little bit different. Try it mode and see it mode are very much for learning, okay, for new users who haven't seen it before. Once they've run through see it mode or try it mode, then what you can do is get your end users to have to do know it mode, okay? And know it mode is a test, okay? So the level of information as you run through it, you'll see that that's massively minimized. Okay, so they won't get as much information and direction as they did in the other play modes. We can also set a score. So in this case, they need to get 80%. So if they do anything wrong on all the various steps, then they will fail that individual step. And then at the end of the topic, they will then get a summary which shows them what score they got and whether they passed or failed. You can also see on our introduction frame that our text has differed slightly. Okay, so it's more specific to the modes that they are using. Okay, and that is all amended and written and customized within the developer, which we'll look at in a moment. So as I click on Start here, you can see that now rather than our text bubble being close to where they need to click or enter information, we get it on the right-hand side, and all we get is just an indication of what the end user actually needs to do. Okay, so you're going to create a formula that calculates the sell profit in cell Bravo rate, but they're not told exactly what they need to do, where they need to do it, and we don't have any action area on the cell showing where exactly they need to click. So if I do click on it, the know it text bubble will then give me the next instruction. Okay, and I can continue through the topic. If I click on the wrong area, so I complete the wrong action, then UPK will fly up this warning message, okay, telling me that the action I've performed is incorrect and telling me that I need to try again, okay, and then reiterating the instruction underneath it. If I then click on the incorrect area for a second time, then UPK will start to get a little bit more annoyed with me, okay, and start talking in bold, okay, and reminding me that I've performed the action incorrectly. And what it now does is it gives me additional detail. So it tells me what I need to be doing. If I'm really not paying attention and do get it wrong for a third time, then UPK will start to shout at me with red bolds. It will reiterate what I need to click on in the text at the bottom of the frame here, the pane here, sorry, and it will also now show me the red action area, which is where I need to click. So we can set within our developer, within our know it modes, what levels of remediation we have there. So we've shown all three of the possible levels of remediation within know it mode. I can amend that as I'm developing this content, so I can just have the first level and maybe the third level or just the second level. I can completely customize it to show and to have that experience exactly as I want it to for my end users as they're going through this mode. Okay, so I won't complete the the end of that that topic. Okay, so we'll come out of that. But as I said before, were you to go through to the end, then you would get a summary showing your score and whether or not you've passed or failed. So the next one along then is do it mode. So do it mode is a little bit different from the other play modes that we've seen before. Do it mode is much more focused on people that are already using the application and have got to or need to do a process which they either don't know how to do or they did the training so long ago that they've forgotten how to do it. So they just need a little bit of assistance in how to actually do that process. Okay, so if I have my Excel spreadsheets, we've got a similar type of spreadsheet in the background here. We want to enter some formulas. I can't remember how to enter the formula. I would therefore go to my UPK content, bring up the do it mode for sorry, Janice, for entering formulas, okay, and it will then bring up this this pane here, okay, this window. So this window I can move it around, so if it's covering something up I can just get it out of the way. Okay, I can also resize it so that it's showing me exactly what I need to show. So the do it window, as we can see here, is split down into two panes. So the top pane will contain the text and the instructions that we saw previously within our see it, know it, and try it text bubbles. We can then also use these navigation arrows to go through these steps within that topic. And then as we go through these steps, we also have this secondary pane at the bottom here, which will show us the relevant screenshot for that particular step that we're working through. And that will move around and show me where I need to be clicking to complete this step. So I can be looking at it in do it mode, and then in my target application in the background, I can then be following along and doing what it is that I need to do. Okay, so I need to then type in equals, then go to my cell in C, in B16, etc., etc. So you can hopefully understand the concept there. It is very much a topic that will allow you to walk through and talk through somebody who's not completely confident and comfortable with the process that they need to be doing. So I will close that down and then move on to print it mode, which is our final mode here. So in this example, we've selected to have print it mode bringing the instructions up within an HTML file. As you can see here, for that topic, we then have all of the steps broken down with all of the text and all of the instructions there. Where appropriate, we have icons showing exactly where they need to be clicking. Okay, and again, as with everything else in UPK, this is completely customizable. So if I wanted to, I could have the print it mode showing this information within a Word document, within a PDF file. I can, as we go into the developer, we will see the different kinds of outputs that you can have. So you can have training manuals, job aids, etc. And those different outputs will show different levels of information. So I can select which one of those outputs I want to base my print it mode around. I can also amend whether I want to have screenshots involved. I can amend how many screenshots I want to have, etc., etc. So I think that goes through everything that we need to on the player side of it. So that's what the end user is going to see. And now what we'll move on to is the developer. So everything that we're going to look at now, the end user will not get to see at all. But what we're going to go through is the developer and have a look at how simple and easy it is to create such content and customize it and amend it and build it into whatever it is that we want to have. Okay, so this is our developer view, the view that the initial view that we get is our library view, okay, and this works in the library within UPK works in exactly the same way pretty much as Microsoft Explorer. So anybody that's familiar with Explorer will be able to pick up and operate comfortably within the library, excuse the buzzer there, within the library for very simply and very quickly and very comfortably. Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to do is start to build my outline, and I'm going to do that by going to New. As we open up our different options, we can see here that we've got a number of different things that we can create straight from the off. So the first level, okay, the top level is our module. So that's what we've published and that we saw within our player view. So we had there a number of modules, a module for each of the different Microsoft applications. So we had a Word module, an Excel module, an Outlook module, etc., etc. Underneath that, we then had a few sections, and alongside those sections, we then had our topics, which were our individual processes that we went through with the different play modes. If we need to, we can also create packages within our developer. So if we want to embed video files or different documents or presentations that the user can then access, open up, view, interact with at various points within the training, then we can do that. Likewise, with web pages, we can create web pages from scratch and use those within our concept area of the player to then provide additional information to the user. We can add a glossary if we want, and we can also add questions and assessments within, and we can embed those within our outline. So if your end users are working through that module, they will get to a certain point where they then have to answer a question or a number of questions, or indeed we can collate those questions all together and place them into an assessment, which they then work through at the end of the training, so that you can get that assurance that they know everything that they need to know. And as you can see on my screen there, there's a variety of different questions that you can embed within your material. Okay. So what I will do is to create a new module. So we can now name that new module, and we're going to name it Word. In this instant, we're just going to do a very simple Word topic. I can then decide where I want to save it. I can set my language. So Janice did mention in her part the number of languages that UPK supports, and you can see there all of the languages that we can set UPK into. And I'll come back to that and explain the relevance of that once we start recording material. We can also set our templates. We can add in our browser if one already exists, and we can set our screen resolution. In this example, we're just going to keep everything as it is. So once I've created it, that module will now open up in a new tab. Okay, and this is now our outline editor, into which we can now start to create the structure of our user material. Janice, okay, so what I can do now is start to build up that outline. So I will link in a new section, and we will call that editing documents, if I can remember how to type this morning. And then underneath that, we will link in our new topic, and our new topic that we're going to look at today is called inserting images. Okay, just something nice and simple for us this morning. Now, this outline is going to form the structure that we saw on the player. So remember the player that we looked at earlier. Okay, we had the library on the left-hand side, and what we're seeing on the left-hand side here, this outline structure will directly replicate what the structure that the end user will see for their training material. We can also customize this. So once we've created our structure, we can then move stuff around if we're not happy with how it's going to interact, and completely adapt how it appears. As you can see here, we've got quite a regimented structure with a module at the top, followed by a section, followed by a topic. But as you saw as I was moving stuff around there, you don't have to have it like that at all. You can have topics within modules, and you can have sections alongside topics, whatever it is that will enable you to create a bespoke content that is most user-friendly to your delegates that are doing the training. Okay. We can also operate UPK within a multi-user environment, so I can check out and check in material that that all of my development team have access to. So in this case, you can see here that we have green ticks next to all of my material. That means it's checked out to me, so that if I was part of a larger development team, the other developers at this point in time could view the content that we've got here already, but wouldn't be able to edit it. So it means that you're not having multiple people making changes on the same content at the same time. So we've created the beginnings of our outline, and now what we can do is go on to recording our content. So I'm going to record a very simple process within Microsoft Word. So I now have the Word application up here in the background, and you can see there that as I clicked on the record topic icon, UPK collapsed down, and what we get now is our recorder. Okay, so this is the UPK recorder. This is the only thing on my screen that UPK will not record. Okay, now as you can see, I can move this around wherever I want. So if I need to get to something underneath, not a problem, I can just move the recorder out of the way. The recorder itself then contains a variety of information. We can see here that we have the title for the topic that we're going to record. So if I've got distracted and forgotten what it is exactly I need to be doing at the moment, then we've got the hint there of what the title is. Underneath that, I also get a hint from the UPK recorder as to what I need to be doing next. So I need to press my capture screen. So at the moment I have my capture button, At the moment I have my capture button set up as print screen. So it's telling me that I need to press print screen to begin recording. So we're not recording at the moment. It also tells me what my next screenshot will record, and I'll come back to that in just a minute, as I will do with the last recorded event. We've got a number of other buttons down at the bottom here as well, so I can add in any notes that I need to make to remind myself and provide additional detail that I can then insert into the content as I'm editing it. I can add in sounds, etc., and there's also an undo button. So I'll press my capture button to commence recording. We can now see that the instruction for the next step has advanced on, so press print screen to record. And as I move my cursor around the screen, you can see here that UPK knows what it is that I'm pointing at. So as soon as I've started recording, it's recognized the fact that what I'm recording against is Microsoft Word, and it knows Microsoft Word. So it knows that when I've got my cursor hovering over this part of the screen, it knows that I'm pointing at something. As we can see here, it says point. Okay, it also knows that what I'm pointing at is a tab. And not only that, it also knows what that tab is called. Okay, what this means is that when you've recorded your material, all of the template text that we saw within the finished topic So that text that we saw within the speech bubbles, that's already inputted. I don't have to sit there and every single frame, every single step, this or point at that, etc., etc. UPK will do all of that for me. That means that my time is can be used a lot more efficiently, and it means that I can then just concentrate on doing the final polish and edit before then publishing my material. So what do I need to do? I need to click on the Insert tab. At every single step, I will then press my screen capture button. We then want to insert a picture. So I'll click on Insert, press the screen capture button again, select my image, which I've pre-positioned within a folder just for ease of use today. Press the capture button again. Click on Insert. Beautiful picture of a little koala. Okay, and now finish. So once I click on finish, the recorder will close back down, and the UPK will then the topic will then open up within a new tab. So we're now within the topic editing tab, and I can now go through and edit my topic however I want to. At the bottom here, you can see that we've got a frame structure diagram, so I can use this to navigate through the individual steps. And you can see that it's already, as I mentioned before, already populated the key text within the text bubble there. So if I don't want to, I don't need to add anything in there. It's also got the exact action area highlighted. If I want to, I can move that around. So if it didn't quite capture it correctly, if I made an error as I captured it, then I can amend the action area. I can amend the type of thing that I'm clicking on, and I can amend its name as well. Okay, if I can remember how to type. What I can also do is then add in any custom text. So at the moment we've got no text on our introduction frame, but I can now add something in that will enhance the learning experience for the end user. So I can go through that and add in any custom text on any frame that I want to. Okay, if I wanted it, let me just revert this to where it should be. So I'll move that back, make this insert again, and revert this to a tab. So that's what it should be showing. Okay, so we've now got our custom text within there, but if it's replicating what's already within the template text, then what I can do is I can just highlight that text and then just select so that that text is only visible within Know It mode and none of the other play modes. So at the moment we're displaying it, as you can see by this top button up here, within the See It and Try It mode. So I click on that, we can now see what it looks like within Know It mode. Okay, if I now just save that and go back to my outline view, what I can now do is preview how that topic that I've created is going to appear. So what I'll do is I'll select a preview. I'm going to select a preview which in Try It mode. I can select any of the output modes at all there. Remember Janice's PowerPoint slide with all of the arrows coming off and all of the different outputs. Well, I can preview it in any of those outputs so I can see exactly what it's going to look like when I've published. So the preview will just do a mini little publish just for that topic, and I can then run through it, simulating using it in Try It mode and see exactly how it looks, and if there's any little errors that have crept in, then I can just go back to my my topic editor and I can make any changes that I need to make at all. Okay, and if I just return to that, we'll just have another look at the preview mode there. So you can see I can preview it in know it mode, do it mode, or any of the other outputs that UPK can do. So once I've created my outline and recorded my material, I can then publish that. So once we select on the Publish button, it will open up the publishing wizard. Okay, I can then decide where I want to save this publish, and then progress through the publishing wizard. You can see here that I can select to publish the entire outline or just my selection. So if I've got quite a large comprehensive outline, but I want to just select and publish different elements of that outline, then I can do so. So I can just select my selection only, or I can publish by roles. So for every part of every topic or every section or every module, I can allocate a role to that module or section or topic. So I can create a whole list of roles that actually replicates the structure of your organization. So managers, floor level staff, HR, payroll, etc. I can then go through and allocate each of those topics to a particular role, and then publish just based on those roles. I can also publish by state. So as I'm developing my content, I can allocate a state to that material, be it ready for SME review, or ready for signed off and ready for final publish, etc. So if I've got a load of material that I need to just publish and make accessible to an SME in that application, for them to review and provide me with any feedback, then I can very easily do so. So the next window that we'll get then is deciding which content and which outputs we want to have published. So as we've referred to before, these are all the different outputs that UPK can publish to. So it's very simply just a matter of ticking the relevant tick boxes and then continuing on with the publish. So unlike a lot of other e-learning programs, what UPK allows us to do is if I've already published and created some content, and then days, weeks, months later, I want to come back and just have some instruction manuals that I didn't have before, then what I don't have to do, unlike many other e-learning applications, is go in and start from scratch to create that training manual. I've already created the content. UPK has already collated all of the information that it needs to create all of these different outputs. Therefore, if I wanted to come back and create a training manual, all I'd do is go through the publishing process, just select the relevant thing that I want to, and then go on and publish. So I won't click publish because it will take a little while to publish that. It does take a few seconds. So just for slickness, I will, and in true Blue Peter fashion, I will show you one that I've prepared earlier. So our single lonely little topic that is looking very lonely there is then shown within our player. Okay, and it's exactly the same format that we saw before with our original example. Okay, so I can go through, I can play that in any of the other play modes which we've already shown you, and there we have our final content.
That concludes our UPK demonstration today. Thank you for your time. If you would like further information about UPK, we do have articles on our website and also offer a public schedule of UPK training, including developer, professional and upgrade courses.